Okay, so as mentioned, let's start to configure your SG boxes. So let's take your SG boxes on your browser. So I'll take the first one, SG1. Okay, so let me enter the username and a password. So as this is the first time configuration of this box, because this is the first time I'm using this SC security gateway, so definitely it will ask to configure the gateway first. So this is the first time wizard in GAIA. You can configure the first time. You can configure your boxes by using web UI. There is no option to configure it through CLI. Like in Splat, we were able to configure it by using CLI, but in GAIA we have to configure by using web UI only. And this is just a first time wizard. Okay, let's move. So host name, let me give the host name SG1. Rest thing leave it as it is. IP address management, absolutely correct. Security gateway, these are security gateway, and this option you have to select when you want to configure cluster XL. Then this option you have to select, and there is no issue if you will not select it during the installation. You can enable it later on as well by using cpconfig in a CLI mode. Okay, so let's move on. Activation key is exit key. So let me put a key here. You can put any key, whatever you want, and then finish. Okay, now this will configure my box. Okay, in the similar way we have to do for SG2 as well. Right. Let's access the SG2. Okay, so the same thing which you have done there, you have to do on this box as well. Come on. Okay, yeah, here you go. Same time zone, and this is something we take care, like the time zone should be matched on both of the cluster members, because they have to synchronize their table. So if time zone and the time settings will not match, then they will be misbehaving when they will be handling the state table of the connections. So it's better to use NTP. However, we are doing it in a lab, so we can proceed with manual time zone as well. Okay, the same thing, the security management, and this is the cluster XL activation key. You can put any key. This key we will be using when we will be adding these gateways in security management server, smart management server. Then this key needs to be provided to generate the SIG key. So once we'll put this key on our smart management server, then the ICA component of smart management server will initialize a SIG. It will initialize a certificate which will be assigned to those gateways to establish the trust relationship in between SM and SG. Okay, so okay, this has been done. Let's reboot it. Same message we should get here as well. Because once this will be done, then we can configure the interfaces and routing by using web UI. Else we can configure it through CLI as well. But it's always good to use web UI. If you are an expert on checkpoint, then you can use CLI as well. Okay, and meanwhile, once this meanwhile this will be ready, let me show you once again the adapter setting. As I already told you, these SG1 and SG2, these are the VM boxes. However, in a GNS there was no way to indicate those VM boxes, so that's why I used the dummy images, and I keep the name as a SG1 and SG2 to make you understand with the topology, so that you guys should be able to understand it quickly. So as I already mentioned, our Ethernet 0 is connected with my physical machine by one of my loopback adapter. Then my Ethernet 1 is in VMnet 5, as you can see, and it is using 1.1.1.0/24 network. Ethernet 2 is used for internet connectivity. Okay, so as you can see here, let me configure it. VMnet 3. Can you see if you can find the VMnet 3? Okay, so give me a moment. Okay, so this is something which is going towards internet, and I don't actually need this cloud here. Once I'll put these interfaces in VMnet 3, which I have configured here, because if you will see this configuration of the virtual adapters of VM. So like as I already told you, VMnet 3, this is bind with my LAN interface of my physical machine. So once I bridge this network, then once I'll provide these IP address, and these gateways should be able to reach over internet, because my LAN of my machine, like with the IP address which I have given this series, this LAN is connected with DSL modem, so it should be able to go on internet. And on the other hand, like as you can see, Ethernet 3, which is 172.16, this is my DMG switch which is going towards DMG. So this is the DMG cloud where we can connect the servers. We can bind, like here, let me bind it. Okay, so now here if I'll connect this, okay, it means my DMG is connected now, and in this cloud I can host any server here. Okay, so as you can see here, again let me show you the VMware adapter setting, because this in a VMware, in a switch, like you are creating a different VLAN to segregate the traffic. In a VMware there is a virtual adapter. By default there are 10 adapter, 0 to 9, and you can understand these adapter in a way like these are the VLANs, and you can segregate the VLANs by assigning the number and the subnets. Okay, so as we are using VNet 0, which is connected with my loopback adapter, and we are using VNet 2, which is connected with the DMG network. We are using VNet 3, which is connected with my physical with my LAN adapter of my machine. VNet 4, which is connected with the loopback adapter to provide LAN connectivity, and then VNet 5, which is used for the sync interfaces. Okay, so I hope it's clear now. So let me see if those gateways are up now. Okay, this is restart, and this is, I hope this gateway is up now. Because whenever you're configuring the cluster, like this topology, we are creating a cluster in between SG1 and SG2. Then before the configuration of the cluster, make sure all the correspondence interfaces of the gateways should be on the same VLAN. Like if we are talking about LAN, then the Ethernet 0 of firewall 1 SG1 and Ethernet 0 of firewall 2 SG2 should be on the same VLAN and on the same network, and they should be able to reach. They should be able to reachable. Like both of the gateways should be able to ping each other for all interfaces. Like 10.1.1.0 interfaces. Like from SG1 you should be able to ping 10.1.1.2, 1.1.1.1.2, 172.16.1.2, 192.168.11.143. Because once the connectivity will be there, then only you will be able to create or establish the cluster actually. Okay, so okay, leave that. So let's configure the interfaces first, because this is a view of GAIA checkpoint. Okay, so on Ethernet 1 it is in VNet 5. Let's enable it, and VNet 5 is sync interface. Okay, and the IP address is 1 dot. This is SG1, right? So it's 1. Oh man. Okay, so interface. This interface comes up. Another one is Ethernet 2, which is in VMnet 2, VMnet 3, sorry, and the VMnet 3 is internet. Okay, and the IP address of VMnet 3 for SG1 is 192.168.11 dot. Let me check the IP address. 141.255.255.255.0. Very good. Oh, this interface has not come up yet because I have not checked it. Okay, the third one is VMnet 2, VMnet 2, which is uh, VMnet 2 is your DMG, right? DMG. So the IP address is 172.16.1.1. Okay, so all interfaces are up on SG1. Same way we have to configure the SG2 as well. So let's go there. Okay, okay, I'll leave that. Go to network interfaces. Okay, Ethernet 1, which is VMnet 5. Enable VMnet 5, sorry, which is the sync interface. Okay, and the IP address is 1.1.1.2 because 1 has been given to SG1. Okay, then your Ethernet 2 is connected with VMnet 3, VMnet 3, which is the internet, and the IP address is 192.168.11 dot. Oh, what was the IP address for SG2? 1423. Okay, and enable this. And the third one, the last one is Ethernet 3, which is in VMnet 2, VMnet 2, which is your DMG, and the IP address should be 172.16.1.2, 255.255.255.0. Okay, so now we are done with the IP address assignment for both of the gateways. So let's test it if all interfaces are in a correct group and are we able to ping by from SG1 to SG2. So let's ping first interface, which is your LAN interface 10.1.1.2. Okay, yeah, one more thing. As this is the first time setup of firewalls, so there will be default policy of checkpoint, which is initial policy, and this policy says any drop. So make sure you do unload local policy before testing, because if the initial policy will be there, then you will not be able to ping to your gateways. So after blue under local, same thing you have to do on the another gateway. Okay, so now test it again. Okay, here you go. Now you are able to ping SG2. Try to ping. Was the LAN IP. Try to ping the sync interface IP, which is 2. Very good. Try to ping the DMG IP, which is 16.1.2. Very good. Try to ping the internet IP, which is 192.168.11.143. There you go. All set to go. So now you are able to ping all of the correspondence interface of SG2. So it means the reachability is there. Now you can proceed with the configuration of Cluster XL. Okay, so let me pause this.